Good afternoon, class. Now, in our last class, we would have looked at the different parts of the plant. We would have identified each part and we would have stated the function of each part. Now, the activity that we had the last time was to correctly label the different parts of the plant. Now, can you remember the parts of the plant? Let's identify them. As I point to a part, you call the name. So here we have the flower, the leaf, the fruit, the stem, and the root. Good. So we looked at 5 major parts of the plant. Now, can anybody remember the functions of each of these parts? Now, before we go into today's activity, let us watch this video on the different parts of the plants and their different functions.
About the parts of a plant and their functions. One bright sunny morning, little Tori woke up to a noisy dispute. Rubbing her eyes, she peeked out of her cozy nest. She looked around. To her surprise, the noise was coming from the plant right next to the tree.
I'm the most important. I'm the most important. No way. I'm the most important.
What is the matter?
Oh, Dory, we were trying to find out which part of the plant is the most important.
I think it is you, Mr. Root. You are very important.
What? You must be joking, Tori. I'm the most important.
Forget it, Mr. Stem. I'm the most important. You may be, but not as important as I.
Do I even have a say in this, Dory? You like me more, don't ya? Why don't you decide, Dory?
But I don't really know what you do. Why don't you tell me about yourself? I only know that a plant has 2 parts, the root and the shoot.
You are absolutely right, Dory. The part of the plant that grows below the ground is the root, and the part that grows above the ground is the shoot.
Why don't you start, Mr. Root? Tell me about yourself.
I grow under the soil, hidden from the world. I anchor the plant to the ground. I absorb water and nutrients from the soil, and then I transport them to the other parts of the plant.
Oh, there's so much on your plate, Mr. Root. I am sure you are the most important part of a plant.
Isn't that too early, Tori? Wait till you hear what I do.
Sure, Mr. Stem. Go on.
I birth leaves, flowers, and fruit. I conduct the water and nutrients absorbed by the roots to the different parts of the plant. I also transport the food made by the leaf to the different parts of the plant.
You deserve a big pat on your back for all the hard work that you've put in, Mr. Stem. Nobody can ever beat you.
Think again, Tori. I am the food factory. I prepare food for the plant using sunlight, chlorophyll, water, and carbon dioxide. This process is called photosynthesis. We'll keep that for some other day.
Chlorophyll? What is that?
Chlorophyll is the pigment that gives me my green color. It helps me absorb sunlight and convert it into energy. And yes, there's one more important task I do.
What is that?
I also help the plant breathe. If you put me under a microscope, you will see tiny pores on my surface. They are called stomata, and they help in the exchange of gases. They also help in getting rid of the excess water. Don't you think I'm the ultimate?
Wait, Tori. Not so soon. Not until you hear me. Oh, I am the prettiest part of the plants. I am called a bud when I am a baby. When I bloom, I become a flower. My color and fragrance attract insects for pollination. I am responsible for reproduction. Reproduction? I help the plant make new plants. Aha! Then, as time passes, I wither away, and you have the fruit. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Don't be sorry, Tori. That's my job. I am the most important. Don't you think so, Tori? I do. But let me hear what Mr. Fruit has to say.
I am the most delicious part of the plant.
Can't agree more. I'm drooling already.
I protect the seeds. I, like the flower, attract pollinators like you.
Am I a pollinator?
You carry the seeds and drop them around, don't you?
Of course I do.
Now that makes you a pollinator.
If unpicked, I rot and fall off to the ground. My seeds germinate and give rise to many baby plants.
Now that you have heard all of us, who do you think is the most important?
All of you are equally important. Each one of you has an important function to perform, and together you make a healthy plant.
I hope that everybody was paying close attention to the video. Now remember, we know the parts, we can identify each part, but it's important that we know the function for each part of the plant. Now I have a little activity for us to do today. Here I have 5 different pieces of paper. On each piece of paper has a different function for a different plant part. So now I'm going to ask for volunteers to come and label this plant correctly. Now I'm going to tell you what is written on each one of these papers. Here we have, this one here says that it makes food. The next one we have here, it says responsible for reproduction. Next we have support leaves, fruit and flower. Then we have takes in water and minerals. And finally we have protects seed. So now based on each of these different parts, I'm going to ask for a volunteer and I'm going to call the part of the plant and you're going to come and choose which one best describes the function for that particular part of the plant. So let us look at the stem of the plant. So for the first part we're going to label, we're going to look at the stem. Now here is where we find the stem on the plant. I'm going to ask somebody to come and choose the correct function for that part and place it in. We had the function for the stem placed there correctly. Next we're going to look at the flower. Been labeled, the function for the flower would have been labeled correctly. Next we'll look at the fruit of the plant. So now we're left with two functions and 2 parts that the functions have not been placed in as yet. So now let's see, we look at the root. Let's put in the function for the root. Finally we have the leaf of the plant and we only have 1 function, leaf back. So we're going to insert that right. Good. So now let's look at them correctly. So we have the fruit, the flower. It says it's responsible for reproduction. Next we have our leaves. It says that the leaves make food. Then we have the fruit. It says that this protects the seed. Then we have our stem. This supports the leaves, fruit and the flower. And finally we have our root that takes in water and minerals for the plant. Now, I hope today's class would have been very exciting for you because it was exciting for me. So now I'm going to hand out some worksheets for you to complete. I want you to take your time. Look carefully. The same thing that we would have done here is what we're going to do on the worksheet. So I'm going to take this down from here so you will have an opportunity to insert the information on your own. So I would see how well you would have remembered the different parts of the plant and the function for each part of the plant.